Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's now officially 6:30, and we're welcome to the Watsonville City Council meeting of December 11th, 2018. This will be our last council member meeting of this year, and it's also a time to welcome some new members and say goodbye to some old members, too. So I'm going to try and move the meeting along as much as I can this evening, but make sure that everybody has a chance to express themselves. Madam Clerk, we have roll call, please?
Yulisic,
Present.
Tubman Gomez. Present. Dutra,
Here.
Garcia,
Here.
Gonzalez, Hernandez,
Present.
Hurst.
Here, and I ask that Mr. Gonzalez be excused as he is out of the country. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome everyone. Buenas noches a todos. We do have translation services available. They're over in the corner in the box. Para usar los aparatos de interpretación en español, tengo un aparato de la mesa junta de la casa interpretación. Préndelo el luce el Channel 0, cuélgueselo en el cuello con el frente de hacia fuera. Si no puede oír, revise que un aparato está encendido y sus instrucciones solo funcionan dentro de la cámara del concilio. Regrésalo antes de partir. Discúlpame, no habla bien español. Again, I welcome everyone here this evening. This is another historic meeting. We have a lot of history with our 150 celebration and everything else, but tonight is a special night. And as I said, I'll try and move it along so that nobody misses school tomorrow or work or has to stay up too late. We'll see. We have informational items. There are agendas in the back. If you'd like to follow along, you can get one of those in our entrance. First of all, we're going to do oral communications from the council. Wait a minute. Do we have something else ahead of that? We've got miscellaneous document reports, reports of disbursement. I guess we're on for presentations. Oral communications from the council. Who'd like to start off, please? Mr. Dutra?
Thanks. Thank you. Just wanted to say, I'll make mine short because you'll be hearing a couple times from me later tonight, but thank you again. This is, for all tuning in every single other Tuesday, and we're, we work very hard in the community, being out in all your events all the time and making sure that you're being heard, and I want to say thank you for inviting me into your homes all the time, and I look forward to speaking to you guys a little bit later in the evening. Thanks.
Thank you. Dr. Bilcich?
Well, I just want to say there's been numerous events that we have attended, and the plaza looks marvelous. I want to congratulate the park staff and all staff that have worked to make it look so wonderful for our Christmas time. The Powell Valley Historical Association had their tea. They're always there protecting our history. And adult education, I'm part of that, obviously, but we celebrated our 90 years on December the 3rd, and Mayor Hurst and Councilmember Kaufman Gomez were both present for the event. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
We're very busy with the census meeting that we took place last week, and it was right here. It looks like there are a lot of people involved, so we're really going to have to work hard on that. Powell Valley Prevention and Students Assistance, they had their holiday party. Intergovernmental Relations, which is the City of Watsonville, the County of Santa Cruz, and the school district, we have good collaboration going on how we can use facilities and concerns about safety or whatever it is. We're working together, and that's really a nice thing. The Terrace had their ribbon cutting, and that's an interesting place. If you've not seen it, you may want to take an opportunity to go visit the Terrace. And then the Slavic American Cultural Organization had their Christmas dinner, and that was last Saturday, and the Sons of Italy are coming up on next Thursday. There's a lot of things going on in this community. It's hard to keep up with everything. And the RTC, Guy Preston, I was introduced to him yesterday, and it looks like he's going to try and help us out with Measure D and the implementation of so many different things with that whole concept. And I wish all of you very, very happy holidays. Thank you.
Councilmember Kaufman Gomez, please.
Sure. Again, I wish everybody the best for the holidays, and that I'm going to keep it very short and let everybody else that is in the audience. We've got a full audience here this evening, so I want to make sure you have plenty of time to go ahead and come up and do what you're doing on your presentations, as well as to say thank you very much for the council. I know that we'll still see you. We have a lot of work to do in our community, I'm sure that we'll continue to see you as part of our community efforts on continuing what we need to do to really thrive Watsonville. So thanks again, and I know we'll hear more soon.
Thank you. Member Garcia.
Several of us from the council attended the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership State of the Region Conference. And we had 2 panels amongst workshops and keynote speakers. However, in one of the 2 panels, our city manager, Matt, was on it. And he spoke about safety in relation to transportation, not only for Watsonville, but for all the cities in the region. And I just wanted to say thank you. You did an excellent presentation. And a lot of people walked away having some learning in regards to the safety issue regarding transportation. A learning from which I walked away was from the first keynote speaker who wrote a bestseller called Designing Your Life, How to Build a Well-Lived, Joyful Life. And what I learned is that there's many ways of thinking. And in design thinking, you accept a problem, but do not get stuck in the solution you think that will resolve that problem. Instead, reframe your thinking and let go of the solution and identify alternatives. So while I'm on the council for the next 4 years, I'm going to try to use this type of thinking to work on issues that concern the city. I, with incoming Mayor Estrada, attended the first Pajaro Valley Prevention and Student Assistant Empower Leadership Conference. It was a conference organized by students for students. The keynote speaker was Watsonville native Karina Moreno, former National Golden Gloves boxing champion, and who now co-owns a boxing facility here in Watsonville. From Jóvenes Sanos, and we've heard Jóvenes Sanos present to us in the past, Crystal Lopez was given the Empower Youth Leadership Award for her service in the community. And throughout the day, the students had an opportunity to attend various workshops, including issues that dealt with overcoming racism, queer rights, worker rights, immigration law, myths and facts of marijuana, and many more issues. It is hoped that it will become an annual conference. And finally, I, with others from the council, attended the Andy Vargas El Sueño concert at the Mello Center. And there are really no words to describe the excellence that we saw in that council concert with all that participated, especially Andy and his band, the Soleros. As you know, Andy is one of the lead singers of Santana. And I've actually gone 4 times to Las Vegas to see Santana and hear Andy. And I just wanted to share how my relationship with Andy began. It began when he was a student at Watsonville High School, and I was principal of Rolling Hills Middle School. And I used to hire him as a DJ to play at our dances. And the students loved the music that he played then. And so those of us that attended the concert also loved the music that we heard that night and his singing. And so we're very proud of his success and for coming back to Watsonville to raise funds for for his foundation and for Watsonville High School scholarships. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Member Hernandez.
I also want to give a round of applause for the Parks and Rec putting up 2 days of events. I know one day got rained out, but it was a great holiday in the plaza. Lots of events for families to bring their kids to. And it just simply looks beautiful. If you have the opportunity to drive through Main Street and look at the plaza, it looks really beautiful. And thank you for doing that over at Parks and Rec. I too attended the MBEC conference, and I have to say our city manager was the best speaker there as well. You know, some of the cities took what he had to say to heart and immediately worked on some of the things, like the city of Salinas, I think, took some of those things that you said and started working on them immediately, having to do with traffic safety. I also attended the Andy Vargas concert. It was a great time. Like Councilmember Garcia said, Andy's lead singer for Santana. It was a great opportunity. It was a great concert. I know he wants to continue having more concerts like that for his community, Watsonville, and he wants to do more in the community in terms of music programs for kids and stuff like that. So I look forward to that as well. And last, I want people to recognize the Complete Streets stuff that they have right outside in the lobby. Those are some of the things that we want to do to make the streets safer in our community. As you know, there's been a lot of fatalities. There's been a lot of bike and pedestrian collisions. And I think that those are some leading edge, cutting edge solutions throughout the country that we have right there in the hallway. So when you guys take off, take a look at them at the Complete Streets program. Complete Streets is a program to make sure that students are safe on their route from home to school. So they're safe routes to school for all children in Watsonville. So take a look at them. It's the beginning of the process right now where we're doing the downtown portion. So make sure you take a look at them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see some folks standing back there. We do have an adequate number of seats here, and so we don't have an usher, but if you'd like to move forward and find a seat, you'd be welcome. If you wish to stand, that's okay too. But please make room for others. We probably have some more people coming along. I do hope everyone got a chance to look at our displays in the lobby and think about street and pedestrian and bike safety. We're going to focus on that quite a bit in the next, in the next year and the next year after that. And we're going to try our best to educate as well as figure out better design. And, it's a long process of trying to wean people of some of their bad street behaviors. And so help us out with that if you can. I just want to wish everyone, well, let me say this first. I did attend the same conference and workshop that Member Garcia attended, and I too want to try out some new ways of thinking and getting progress, solving problems and making progress happen. Nobody can say there's nothing to do in Watsonville. We've had a very full month already of entertainment and beautiful holiday celebrations. The one event that wasn't mentioned was the famous blues singer Joe Louis Walker. Mrs. Hurst and I attended that gala at the Appleton Event Lounge. It was actually fabulous. There were people there we'd never seen before in Watsonville, and it's always good to have new folks come to town. So I just want to conclude by saying safe, happy holidays to everyone, our very best, and take care of yourselves and look after your families. With
One last quick announcement.
Sure.
As the holiday season comes, make sure you shop local. Every time you shop local, you contribute to your city. So when it comes to Christmas, shop local. Leave the Amazon at home and shop local.
Thank you very much. I forgot to mention that. Next up on our agenda is report out of closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. The council received reports from staff but took no final action this evening.
Thank you very much. Now on to item 6, reports to the council. We have A, presentation of the City of Watsonville's 150th birthday celebration time capsule. We've allotted 15 minutes for this.
Good evening, Mayor Hurst and council members. Tamara Vides, Deputy City Manager. We have a special evening ahead of us today. We are kind of closing a chapter for our city with a celebration of our 150-year anniversary and opening a new one with our newly elected mayor and council members and re-elected council members. So it's a very exciting evening. 2018, I think, will be a year for us to remember. As we close this sesquicentennial celebration, I want to share with the council a little bit of the history that we will be encapsulating this evening for the enjoyment and curiosity of future generations. The time capsule in front of us is earmarked to be open when the city celebrates 175 years, 25 years from now. If you think about your world 25 years ago, it probably has changed some, and I'm sure in 25 years it will change quite a bit, especially with leadership. We want to take a few moments to remind us how we celebrated, so please allow me 3 minutes of your time. We designed a special logo, commemorative logo, using images of our downtown to celebrate this sesquicentennial anniversary. We also embellished our downtown with colorful banners. We celebrated with our community and with the help of our sponsors, Martinelli and Company and Nob Hill Foods. We actually celebrated with our past electeds. That's our past electeds celebration. And then we have a celebration for our community in the plaza, again, sponsored by Nob Hill Foods and Martinelli. We had listened to some wonderful music. The Watsonville Band and the Mariachi California of Javier Vargas delighted us with mañanitas and happy birthday. We also hosted our first wine walk in our downtown, and that brought many visitors to our downtown in our city, and it was so special. We're bringing it back this next year. We also had a project that we did in our downtown in collaboration with Pájaro Valley Arts Gallery, and that is the removable murals that celebrate the history of labor in our community. And as you can see, they're across the street in City Hall, and they're very beautiful to look at. We also celebrated our 4th of July with our community through our wonderful community parade that we have every year. This year was extra special. And then we celebrated at the airport open house with a historical fireworks show that evening. We had family fun. We went to the Giants. Well, that's the 4th of July. We also went to the Giants game. They hosted us at the AT&T Park. And we had a lot of fun, so much fun that we should not wait to have a birthday to go back, because it was a great evening. We celebrated with many concerts in the plaza, and we brought music to our downtown that makes our community dance and really enjoy those concerts, as you can see. We also hosted lightning talks in partnership with the MAW, the Museum of Arts and History. We had wonderful speakers talking about Watsonville, and it was just a really nice experience to learn about different aspects of our community. And this month, as you heard it, we've been celebrating our holiday seasons in the plaza. I've been with Santa every single weekend. I feel so honored. We had brought back a snow day. We had a children's train. And it's been wonderful to be out there with our community every weekend. We have one more event happening this Saturday, the 15th, if it does not rain. So as you can see, we have been busy. We could have not planned this very ambitious calendar without the help of that group over there in that picture. Our planning committee. It was just great to have a group of community members and council members, staff, working together to plan, like what you saw, a very ambitious calendar. And I want to thank those members of the committee. There are some of them here tonight who guided our program. It was wonderful contributions. Council, what did we accomplish with all these partying and events and fun things we did? I think we created community. We re-engaged many residents and business with what the city is doing. We celebrated our past. We honor our present. We created pride and memories for future generations. I think we should all be proud of the celebration of 2018. It definitely brought a special light to our town. So that is a wrap for 2018. This is our last moment where we actually talk about the time capsule. Before we go there, I want to thank Mayor Hurst because you were there every step of the way. You were not only engaged in planning, but you went to every single event. So thank you for your partnership with that. I also want to acknowledge Councilmember Dutra and Councilmember Kaufman Gomez for your leadership and your involvement, and the council as a whole, because you all plan to have this celebration for our community. So thank you very much for that. So time capsule. Tonight we have a collection of memorable items that we will save for 25 years in this very special time capsule in front of us. The capsule will be open in 2043. Every city department was invited to contribute memorable items to put in the capsule. We have items that were provided by our library, our public works department, our Parks and Community Services Department, our City Clerk's office, our administrative offices, police, and fire department. So we have different items, memorabilia that, of course, are going to change with time. So it will be nice mementos for future generations to enjoy. We also invited our businesses to share their current history and what they wanted to place on the time capsule. Tyler Office City, it's contributing to our time capsule. George Betts, agricultural columnist, is also contributing some items for the capsule. And Martinelli and Company and the Register Pajaronian are also here tonight, and I'm going to take a moment to invite them to come over and tell you what they're putting in the time capsule. We celebrated 150 years with both of them. We kind of share the birthday in thunder with Martinelli and the Register Pajaronian. So I'd like to start with John Martinelli. It's here with us tonight, and if you want to come over.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I understand I have 1 minute. It takes me an hour to tell this story, so I'm going to give you a very quick synopsis. Out of adversity comes opportunity, and it started almost right away with my great-grandfather when he settled in our beautiful valley, and his wheat crop was destroyed by a flood of the Pajaro River, still a problem we have today. And he needed to find a more reliable source of income, and decided to go into the business of making soda water. And then he set up shop on a lean-to on the side of his brother's apple barn and started experimenting with hard cider. We were in the hard cider business for 50 years, and when he was 75 years old, nearing the end of his life, having poor health, he was 1 year from celebrating our 50th anniversary at that time, and also 1 year from having Prohibition put our company out of business. And my grandfather was an architecture student at Cal because he, I'm sure, was convinced there was no future in our company. And my great-grandfather must have thought, I raised my family, 50 years, it was a great run. I guess it's over now. My grandfather developed the pasteurization process that turned our apple juice, our hard cider, into a year-round non-alcoholic product, and our company experienced the rapid growth in our entire history in the next 25 years during Prohibition, the Great Depression, and World War II. And I am thrilled to be here. I wrote our 150th anniversary book. It's 200 pages long. It's available in our store. A very affordable price, and I'm thrilled to be here. And the last thing I want to say is, I hope I'm here in 25 years. I'll be 86, and I want to see this thing open at that time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'd like to now invite Janet Johnson, who with a registered Paronian, who is also contributing to the time capsule.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I just wanted to say briefly that it has been an amazing experience this past year working on this committee and helping to plan some of the events that the city has held, as well as the newspaper. We are thrilled to be celebrating our birthday with the city and with Martinelli's, and we also have some things to contribute. I don't have as amazing a story as John, but we're just really excited to be part of this whole event.
We also invited different agencies around town, and I know PVWMA is contributing to our time capsule, and Pajaro Valley Historical Association, who was a tremendous partner in this effort in collecting a very large number of pictures and that are there in our website for all to enjoy. We also invited schools. Super happy. Watsamo Aptos Adult Education, celebrating their 90th anniversary, contributed to our time capsule with some special mementos of that special celebration of your school. And we also invited kids from Watsamo Charter School of the Arts and Modeling Notre Dame School. It is so exciting to see the drawings and the writing of all the students. When you look at them, they all want the same thing for the future. They want our community and our city to have clean air, to be safe, to have more entertainment, to have healthier food options, and they definitely foresee some development happening in our city. Oh, and one more thing that I was very excited to see. They see flying cars. Just like in my favorite cartoon growing up, the Jetsons, they see that in Watsonville, we're gonna have flying cars in 25 years. So that will solve my parking issues, right? So it is my pleasure again to invite some members of the 7th grade class for Model and Notre Dame to address the council at this moment. Hello.
Good evening, Mayor Hertz and council members. My name is Maya Chavez.
Joseph Rose.
Mila Vides. We represent the 7th grade class of Moreland Notre Dame School.
We were honored to be part of the celebration of our city's birthday by contributing to the time capsule.
Our class was asked to write about how we envision our city in 25 years, or what Watsamo means to us today in 2018.
Many of us will be 37 or 38 years old when the time capsule is opened during the 175th year of the city's incorporation.
Our class hopes to continue to shape a nice community for all of us to raise our families and live in. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So they're contributing some thoughts as to how they see the future in Watsamo. There's a yearbook going in, and I also have a member of the 4th grade class of Moreland Notre Dame if you want to bring contributions also from the 4th and 5th grade classes being deposited right now. So I think that is it for now. That's all that's going to go in our time capsule. That capsule will be displayed here in our City Hall, and open whenever those that make decisions at that time will decide to open it 25 years from now. I don't want to conclude my presentation without taking a moment to thank two members of our staff that have made significant contributions to our celebration of our 150th anniversary. They made it significant, they made it fun, and they made it beautiful with their creativity. And that's Imelda Negrete and Suriel Vasquez, who, thank you. We are also doing a commemorative book for the 150. We have, just in time. We have our 150 club, and it's not too late if anybody wants to be part of this commemorative book. It's you can fill out one of these forms, and your picture and some thoughts from your family or whatever you want to highlight in the book could be included, and the book will also be inside of the capsule. So thank you, Council.
Thank you very much, Tamara, and Imelda and Suriel, thank you very much for your work on this. 150 only comes around once ever, right? And so whatever anybody wants to do with our 150th club, they're certainly welcome to it. And I know that we have, I don't know how many members we've got, but are we limiting to that just to 150 members tomorrow? Good. Well, there's still a couple of square inches in the time capsule to commemorate. So think about the 150 club. And thank you very much. I don't know if we'll have a celebration for 151 or not, but we'll see.
Hopefully not. But I also have the audience today is getting a little momentum of our celebration for them to take home. So Imelda and Surya will be going around.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you again for your hard work on that. It really did was a major contribution of staff effort and community effort, and we had a great time at every one of those events, I believe. So thank you very much. You're up for the next agenda item as well tomorrow?
Not leaving my hair.
Okay, that's good. We're gonna wear you out, and there'll be room for some more speakers, I hope. Item number B, report regarding the Census 2020 Complete Count Committee. We've allocated 10 minutes for this one.
Great. I'm trying to be short. So again, Tamara Vides, Deputy City Manager, and I'm here today with a brief presentation as to our effort to kick off the Census 2020. We are attempting to urge community participation, businesses, partners to join us in the Complete Count Committee. That is a group of individuals in a community that can help us ensure that there is full participation from our community in the Census 2020. They will help us plan and implement locally based outreach that works for our community because they work with our community day in and day out. They will help us address the special needs of our community, the special knowledge of like knowing how we can better reach the community members that are hard to count in our community to make sure that they do participate in the census. We kicked off our effort on December 4th, like you mentioned earlier, and we had about 60 people in attendance. They were representing about 26 different agencies from businesses, faith-based organizations, health partners, media, and other government agencies. It was truly a well-diverse group that came that day. I'm happy to report to the council that of the 26 agencies that came that day, 25 committed to support our outreach effort one way or another. But even better news, 17 of them committed on that day to be part of our Complete Count Committee, which is great because that means that our outreach that we would like to do for our community will be that much more effective because we will have so many more working on this issue. during our session together, during our lunch session together, we had an opportunity to brainstorm. You might have heard that there is going to be a citizenship question in the census form this year, and that's going to have an impact for our community. So we asked the group to think about how do we message this to our community? How are people in our community going to respond to having their citizenship status being asked in the census form? So we had a wonderful brainstorming session. I want to report to you some of the highlights that came out as to like next steps. We concluded that it's very necessary to gain trust with our community. Our community needs to trust the message. We need to conduct culturally competent outreach. We definitely need to work with our families and with our children. We also discussed that we need to honor our history and what we know from the past, particularly in this political climate. If we look back, what happened to Japanese Americans in the past, can we ensure the safety of those vulnerable in our community? We concluded that we need a clear, short, and consistent message. It needs to be the same all the time so that people kind of familiarize themselves. And we need to obtain answers. There are so many questions that we have that we have no answers for yet. What is the consequences if we skip that citizenship question? Does it mean that your census form is not valid? What are the consequences of that? We also want to make sure that we answer, would the census data would remain confidential? That's going to be a question that we know we're going to be asked by our community members. So there are some answers that we need to seek. We all know that the census data is very important when it comes to communities receiving the right resources to serve the people that live within them. We know that we will be losing $1,950 per year per person that is not counted. When you multiply that over a 10-year period, it's a great loss of resources if we do not achieve a complete count. There are some dates here in this chart that kind of highlight some important dates. We already kicked off our effort. We learned from the 150 that it takes a year to plan. So the census is not until April 1st, 2020, but we are starting to plan now. And we need to be planning because there's going to be a lot of outreach required. So let me share with you what we know is new and different in 2020 versus the effort in 2000 or 2010. There are fewer resources in the Census Bureau. The federal government is definitely not resourcing the Census Bureau as much as in the past, so there's going to be less enumerators and less outreach workers that are going to be doing that effort to make sure that everyone in the communities are counted. We also know that they're going to be using 55% of the population. It's going to be sensed by electronic census forms, so they're not going to have a paper form to fill out. And if we know our community and we understand our digital divide and the lack of access to computer in all our households, that may pose another challenge for us. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the citizenship question will also be a challenge that we need to conquer. What is the same and what continues to be challenging is the reality that we have a large number of immigrants, foreign-born, people with language barriers, and we have very dense households. So those are what the Census Bureau considers hard to count populations. So they already know we have elements in our community, that characteristics of our community that make us a hard to count community. So what is the City of Watsonville gonna do in this effort? We'd like to be a convener. We are committed to partner and convene partners in our community that can help support the outreach efforts to ensure that everyone in our community is counted. We will also coordinate. We would like to coordinate outreach efforts with those out there working with our community. If it's a church, we'd like to work with them. If it's a clinic working with patients, we'd like to work with them. So we'd like to engage as many in our community as possible. And lastly, we'd like to do capacity building. We would like to help seeking grants that could help support outreach efforts, as well as preparing a toolkit, a marketing kit that will empower partners in our community to distribute that very consistent message to all in our community. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you very much, and you did beat the clock, so
It was my
good
goal
work.
to do that.
Good work. Well, we can't say enough about the importance of the census and its future for Watsonville, and so you'll be hearing a lot more about the census and the Complete Count Committee as we move forward. Mr. Dutra?
So when we get the census this time, we can start changing the green signs on our population? Because I think it's like they're still pretty old, right?
They might, yeah.
But I guess one of my main questions is that when it's important to have an accurate count because there's a lot of funding based off of this, and I think people really need to know that, our population depends on the funding we get. So if we're being shy about, I don't want to be counted, or I'm afraid, it's not bad to be counted. We need you to be counted. And because the city depends on your number so that we can get the funding here. So I don't know, maybe you can just touch on that for a second. Or
Yes, no, absolutely. That is correct. That is why is it important to achieve a complete count, because for every person that is not counted, the state who actually gets the funding from the federal government loses $1,950 per person for every year, and the census is only done every 10 years. So that means you have one chance to count that person, and you missed out on resources for 10 years.
Right. And I know some people may in the community be afraid that they don't want to be counted because of maybe documentation or afraid of the issues that we've been facing under the current administration. How do you how do we make it easier for them to be counted?
That is where the partnership with the organizations that we invited to our kickoff meeting, it's key, because we may interface with some people in the community, but different people, different agencies in the community work with the entire community, so we can together get the message across. That's why part of the brainstorming session came out that it's important that the message be clear, short, and consistent. Just have the same message so people can become really familiar with it if it is safe to be counted.
Right. Well, thank you for your hard work on this. This is an important issue, and I'll definitely, I'll have some time on my hands. I can help out.
Thank you.
Good. Another volunteer. I want to volunteer a seat for anyone in the back that wishes to have a seat. There are some seats up front as well, and so make yourself comfortable. Let's you have a comment, Member Garcia?
I have two questions.
Questions.
You mentioned that there was 17 agencies, organizations that committed to be on the Complete Count Committee. I would suspect that there was some that may not have attended that first meeting. Can they still become part of the Complete Count Committee?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. And even if they don't become part of the Complete Count Committee, they can still help. There were 26 agencies that came to the meeting. Not all said okay, I want to be part of the committee, but many say, I want to help. I can help this way. I can fund, I can publish, I can distribute flyers, I can hang banners, whatever the case might be. The help was extended to us, so it's great to see.
And my second question is, the people that came represented agencies, organizations, faith-based community. Can the ordinary layperson also participate in the Complete Count?
Absolutely. Everyone can help. Everyone can help. This is going to take effort from our entire community to make sure that the message gets to those that are harder to count.
And so if my neighbor wants to participate, how would they be able to participate? Where do they go to say, yes, I want to?
I'm afraid I don't have details to answer your question at the moment, but in January, once we convene the first meeting of the Complete Count Committee, we will be able to perhaps answer how can we get more people to help us.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
More questions and answers will be available as the committee moves forward. Kaufman Gomez, please.
Okay, thank you. I heard that you had mentioned clinics, pediatricians as well. You know, the CHDP, they're very, very loyal to make sure that those children are being immunized and are very well in educating the parents when these children are coming through. So make sure you're engaging the pediatricians in the area in those clinics. I think that would really be good. And what mention of the school district is involved in participating?
The school district attended the meeting, and they are going to partner with us in getting that message out.
Yeah, and it definitely takes a village. So
Absolutely.
all of us need to do our part in getting that message and figuring out what that logo is going to look like for Watsonville to get it to everywhere it needs to be. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Member Hernandez, and let's move it along, okay?
So are we reaching out to the ag community and Farm Bureau? I suspect there's a lot of employees that they have that live in Watsonville
Yes.
that typically are not enumerated, or they try to avoid anything like that, you know, and especially now with the political climate. And then the other thing is people might be scared of non-conforming housing units, whether they live in the back shed or a storage shed or a garage unit. You know, those are all considerations that we have to take into account. But are we working to resolve something like that or create a solution to that
We
barrier?
invited the ag companies. We invited them to attend the meeting, and as a matter of fact, one of the highlights for me of the meeting that we held on December 4th was when a representative of Driscoll's, who has many workers in our area, came to me at the end of the meeting and said, "Thank you for inviting me. I understand now why this is important, and we can help that message get out there to our workers." So that to me was just really, really fulfilling, just to know that the message of that meeting just came across and people felt that it was important to contribute to the outreach.
Very good, and thank you very much. And I think every member in the audience here and the home viewers as well can assist in some small way in the complete count. So look for the complete count committee meetings.
Thank you.
This brings us to the consent agenda. Any public member that wants to comment or have a question on the consent agenda, this is the time for public comment on the consent agenda items A through K, and we are removing item H. This is only on the consent agenda. Item H will be removed. Seeing no one approach the microphone for the consent agenda, I will turn it back to council. Councilmember Kaufman Gomez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've had a conversation with the Director of Public Works on item C, and there are some comments I would think that would be very beneficial for the community to hear from him about the remarks.
Thank you. The community always needs to be informed and educated. This is item C, approving contracts with Pajaro Valley Water Management Agency regarding the disc filter upgrade project.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Hurst and members of the City Council. Thank you for your question, Councilmember Kaufman Gomez. So this project represents a continuation of a wonderful long-term partnership with the Pajaro Valley Water Management Agency to continue to provide recycled water to our agricultural partners in the community. And we do, through the Recycled Water Project, provide nearly 1 billion gallons of recycled water a year for irrigation purposes. So we started this partnership in 2006 with the Water Agency to build the recycled water facility, and have continued over time to grow and improve that project. Last year, we completed a 1.5 million gallon tank project to improve the reliability and ability to collect the water at night and deliver it during the day, and that was a good, successful project. So this project that's being represented before you today is called the Disc Filter Project. It's just one of the processes in the water recycling process, and it is sort of the most constrictive piece of the process right now. And so this project is to create a second train of filtering so that they can produce water more and more reliably over time. And that's about a $3 million project. So It's important to note that while we are partners with PVWMA and we support all of this work, 100% of the funding for this is coming from PVWMA. There is no cost to the city for this project. The item before you are just two different agreements with the agency about how we will own and operate the facility together and how it will be financed through the state. They have state grant funding and low-interest loan funding to pay for this project as well as the other previous projects I mentioned. So that's what the agreements are about. It's a really wonderful partnership. We will continue forward, and it's another way to improve the way we provide recycled water to the community.
So what increase are we going to have from where we're currently at in this project? Because you said there's there's 1 billion gallons. Where are we now versus going to 1 billion gallons with this project?
This particular project, I don't actually think it will provide a lot more new water. What it does is provide increased reliability of the water system. So the disc filters are a little bit of a sensitive piece in the process, and they often have to be taken down for maintenance, and that can take about a month, sometimes two, to kind of complete that. So having a second train of filters will allow the system to not have to go down, and then maybe sometimes in the summer months they might run both when there's a more heavy use. But in general, it won't increase the amount of water, but it does reduce the time down, and so ultimately it's a more reliable supply.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palmisano, and water is important, and our partnership with the PVWMA is very important as well, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're on the consent agenda. Any further comments, questions, items to pull? I'm ready for a motion.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Dutra.
Second.
Second by Milicic.
The two of us going out, our last motion.
That's it.
It's good. This is good. Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please. Madam Clerk?
Milicic,
Yes.
Kaufman Gomez,
Yes.
Dutra,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Hurst.
Yes, and thank you very much. The consent agenda is approved. This moves us to presentations and oral communications. First on our list is oral communications from the public. I would ask that you try and keep it short and sweet. We will have opportunity to hear comments of the new council members and the outgoing council members and everything else. But let's have the public has 3 minutes. Make sure you fill out one of those blue cards, please.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, and City Manager. I am here tonight as a representative for Safe Ag, Safe Schools. We were very pleased to meet with our city manager last Friday at 4 o'clock, along with our City Parks Director, Nick Kaluba-Quib. I hope I got that right. If I'm not, I apologize. We're very hopeful that this will lead to a rapid demise of the use of all glyphosate products, including Roundup. I have brought for all your reading a 2-page article dealing with the effects of glyphosate, the fact that it causes renal disease, which for those of you who don't recognize the name renal, that's kidney disease. It causes hypertension. It leads to diabetes, cancer. And it's sprayed in all 26 of our parks here in the city. The sad part of this fact is that I just heard our deputy city manager say that she's hoping for clean air. Well, me too. So are we. And I have to tell you that this product, which is made by Monsanto, you all know Monsanto, their motto is better dying through chemistry. Unfortunately, has been epidemic in terms of higher cancer rates throughout the country. And so I am pleading with the city council members. Rebecca, thank you for your support. I'm going to take this also over to our new mayor, Paco Estrada, and our new city council person, Ari Parker. And even though I did not win City Council District 7, Ari did, I am sure Ari and I and the mayor and I and hopefully some of you and I will be working together to remove this evil toxin from our air. Thank you very much. Erwin, could I get these sent over to the city council members.
Thank
I'm
you-
going to
thank
give
you
these
very
to
much.
Ari and the mayor.
Can we have next speaker, please?
Gary Richard Arnold, Mayor, Council people. I fear for the people here that are expecting the city to be in existence and self-governing in 25 years. Billionaire foundations and your city council have endorsed the destruction of self-government through shadow government by adopting regionalism. You're not taught in schools about AMBAG, which is the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments. It's no more than a Soviet. You have stakeholders and foundation people, California Forward, other people out there. The kids are not taught about Tammany Hall or the Pendergast political machines. They have no idea because of the Pajaronian, the Sentinel, the Mercury, and the others that were bought by Bill Gates and turned over to globalists to keep the public ignorant. This gang is altering self-government and destroying individual rights. They're systematically, in China and in Russia, they systematically killed tens of thousands of business owners. And it's an attack especially on the Mexican Americans and his family by undercutting wages and increasing taxes and letting the drug cartels run free. The political machine here is run by Leon Panetta. Even your latest people that were voted to the city council will be going up to the California League of Cities, which has its own program and principles and will direct how they behave towards you. The 5 supervisors from Santa Cruz County came down off their dais and received an award from this man who advocates the destruction of the United States and the creation of Pacifica, and it's designed to be like a communist Chinese state. The people that are involved in this, again, Leon Panetta was, as a congressman, sent money, sent policy and military information to Hugh DeLacy, who's a communist spy for both communist China and Russia. We also have Dianne Feinstein, part of the Democratic Party, the Rockefeller Trilateral Commission. We heard that her chauffeur was a communist Chinese spy. She said she had him for 20 years. Well, this goes back to 1970. Here, this communist spy, Lowell Russell, is getting voters for her. She knew about that more than 20 years before that. We also have Willie Brown, who was the head of the state assembly. He advocated doing away with all counties and cities and having everything run from Sacramento. We have Bruce McPherson, who sits on the AMBAG Council. He received money from a communist Chinese triple agent spy. None of this information is put out by your newspapers, which lie to you and sell you global baloney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arnold. Your time is up.
The sheriff also joined Nextdoor, which was set up by the Mossad and the CIA. It's sold as Neighborhood Watch. They're gathering your information. Look it up. Everything I said to you is true.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Could we have next speaker, please?
Good evening, Council. My name is Jack Carroll. I wanted to review some facts that have been disclosed at the recent RTC meetings. One thing is that the just went blank at me, so I'll do this by mind. There's no organized opposition to the freight service going into Watsonville, but freight service past Watsonville does have some opposition. That the feeling is that the air quality issues are, for all the scenarios that have been presented, are a result of increased electric car use and has nothing to do with trains or any of the other investments that are proposed for us. The representatives of Progressive Rail could not identify a single prospective freight customer beyond Watsonville. Passenger rail service in 20 years is used to justify replacing all the tracks and repairing all the bridges for the freight service. Round-trip passenger train fare from Watsonville to Santa Cruz is projected to be $15. That's at the United Corridor Investment Study. That's $325 per month for each commuter. A large local sales tax, equivalent in size to Measure D, is going to be required to fund this train. RTC doesn't think it will pass. Metro is concerned that RTC will take its money, so that could possibly degrade Watsonville's bus service. Only 1% of the county is forecasted to use a train each day, and that includes short, non-rush hour trips. So RTC is not projecting any improvement in traffic congestion. And with 40 public road crossings, I personally think traffic congestion will be worse with the train. Choosing a train eliminates bus rapid transit, since there's 22 single-track bridges that can accommodate both. That's why Scenario B, which you unanimously approved, didn't include bus rapid transit. The RTC staff who favor a train expressed concern that removing the tracks now could affect our access rights generations from now. The RTC has not gotten a legal opinion about this. Furthermore, the RTC cannot document easements for 50 adjacent properties. They bought just a quitclaim deed from Union Pacific, so they have no legal recourse there. The RTC has not done their homework on this, and it's premature to support any of their scenarios. So I urge you to revisit this issue, and I expect Supervisor Caput to be influenced by your decision, and we need his vote.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carroll. You know, RTC does have a lot of work to do all the way around, so thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you. My name is Dan Hernandez, lifelong resident. My family's been in the Valley 126 years. I've been on different, how can I say, different organizations. I've been on the Clean Streams team, which tested all the water here in the Valley for the last 5 years, first rain, last rain. I've also been on the board for, the city really needs to acknowledge that you have something like 53 MTBE sites that all you've really done is paved over. That's not dealing with it. That's just mean, hey, it's going to be a parking lot, it's going to be a parking lot, and you're never going to get any revenue from that parking lot. That's just besides the other things. I've been on a 5-year Department of Pesticide board here by Supa Gente quite some time back, and the accumulation of toxins that accumulate with our kids that come in and out, not to mention what's already we have in the Valley. We have to do more. We have to be concerned about our children. We have to be concerned about our Valley. And the biggest thing that I see, the biggest challenge that I see is our homeless, our poor, our low socioeconomic, and cramming more bodies in a little valley doesn't get a cut when you even haven't solved the problems at hand. And you have big problems, and I will be pointing them out to you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have next speaker, please.
Hi, Karen Osmondson. Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
I know you all. You know, I'm just here because I'm kind of concerned about the fact that we became a no plastic city, supposedly. We passed an ordinance. And all of the stores, especially clothing stores, are using plastic. They're all just giving you plastic bags. Nobody's giving you, I mean, the only places that give you paper bag mostly are the grocery stores. And let's see what else. Maybe CVS does. I can't remember. So I don't think that's a good idea that, you know, people, you know, clothing stores can use paper bags. I mean, they can give you your clothes in paper bags. I mean, if I happen to actually purchase anything with people who use plastic bags, I tell them, no, I'm not going to take your plastic bag. And I always say to them, well, you know, I think we have an ordinance about no plastic bags. And they go, well, you can use it again. Like you can use your plastic bag again. You know, that's not good. That's not good. So I think I would love the city council to be able to tell all the businesses in Watsonville that we have a ordinance against plastic bags, and that all of the businesses have to figure out how to use paper bags. I mean, clothing stores can use paper bags. I mean, I think they feel good putting clothes in plastic bags, but they don't have to. They can put them in. So I'm super concerned about being supposedly a no plastic city, we're not. You know, there's so many stores, lots and lots of stores using plastic bags, give you a plastic bag to take your stuff out. That's not good. And I actually think we should start doing stuff like Starbucks going to do and not use any more plastic straws and have an ordinance against plastic straws, because they say there's trillions and trillions of plastic straws in the ocean. Lots of plastic straws. It's all in the ocean. So are plastic bags. So I think we need to do a better job making sure that we are, as much as we can, be a no plastic city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sí, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Anita García y yo vivo en el 44 Atkinson Lane, aquí en Watsonville. Y vengo aquí a pedir, por favor, mire, por fuera de mi banqueta pusieron un stop sign. El stop sign no es un problema para mí. Lo único que me incomodó un poco es que pintaron la banqueta de rojo, ya que ahí, pues, ese estacionamiento yo lo usaba y, pues, vengo a pedirles, por favor, si pueden quitar aunque sea nada más para estacionar un carro por fuera de mi casa, ya que es muy importante, pues, para nosotros ese estacionamiento, y vengo a pedirles, por favor, si pudieran hacerlo, ya que es muy importante que tengamos este estacionamiento. Está por fuera de mi casa, el stop sign no es un problema, solamente que pintaron de rojo la banqueta y pues no me puedo estacionar. Y estamos aquí, mi esposo y yo, y pues pidiéndoles, por favor, que si pueden quitar, aunque sea nada más para un estacionamiento, para ponerme a estacionar yo. Y muchas gracias y espero y me entiendan.
Tenemos 30 años viviendo ahí. Cuando hicieron la calle, yo pagué por mi banqueta. Y yo creo que no es justo ahora, ya más viejos, nosotros andar batallando para buscar parqueadero lejos. Yo estoy operado de una rodilla, no puedo andar mucho. Y yo digo que no es justo. Y por favor, es lo que vengo a hacer, esa protesta de que cuando menos me dejen el parqueadero de enfrente. Tengo mis hijos, tenemos 4 carritos y como le digo, yo para andar a veces parqueándome lejos y trayendo mi mandado desde por allá, nomás porque pintaron de rojo.
Yo vengo a acompañarlo a él aquí también para protestar sobre esto,
Let
¿verdad?
Let me do some translation here. Anita Garcia lives at 44 Atkinson, and she says, I'm here to ask you to help us. There is a stop sign in front of my house, and that is not the problem. The problem is that the sidewalk was also painted red, and I cannot park there. I used to park there, and now I cannot park there. So I'm here to ask you to at least let me park at least one car in front of my house. It's very important to us to have at least one parking space there. So I'm here to ask you to let us park there, because it's very important to us to have at least one parking space. And as I said, the stop sign is not a problem, but with the sidewalk being painted in red, I cannot park there, and I need to park there. So my husband and I were here to ask you to please take that off and to let us park at least one car. The gentleman was saying that he is also requesting that to at least have one car there, that they own 4 cars, they cannot park there. The stop sign is not a problem, but they need to have at least one parking space. He has a knee injury. They have, as he said, they have 4 cars. He has to travel, if he goes to the grocery store, he has to carry everything in, and they need to have at least one parking space in front of that house. Thank you.
Continue, sir.
Yo creo, a ver, tú, Reyes.
Mi nombre es Reyes Jiménez y mi nombre es Reyes Jiménez y también vengo a acompañarlo aquí a él para pedirles a ver si por favor pueden mover la pintura, que él se puede estacionar ahí, por la razón de que pues él tiene que caminar bastante, no hay parqueaderos allí enfrente de su casa y como está malo de una rodilla, él no puede caminar mucho. Y si pueden hacer eso, por favor, por él. Gracias.
Thank you for coming. Let's hear the translation.
Thank you. I am Reyes Jimenez. I am also here to support them and to ask you to please remove that paint in front of his house. He really needs a parking space. He has knee problems. He has to walk far, so he can't be walking very long. So I'm here to support him and to ask you to at least to take that paint off and to at least let them park at least one car. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have another speaker?
I think so.
Okay.
My name is Antonio Rivas, and the reason I'm coming before you is that I would like you to really reassess the situation on the 44 Atkinson Lane of this young for 31 years that he's been living there. He paid for the sidewalk. At the same time, he's a handicapped farm worker. So it's important that you reassess the situation. It's no problem with the stop sign, but at least, like they say, it's important that they have at least one car that can park there. So it's important that you reassess and compromise the situation. I know you talk about safety and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's not a problem with the safety there. According to many of the residents there, accident hasn't come really at all. I haven't seen a report, what the safety report that you have to be able to put a stop sign along with painting red. So please, I ask City Council and the next City Council to reassess the situation, and I hope you can compromise and let this resident for 31 years to have at least one parking space. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we'll have staff take a look at it and have more conversation about it. Thank you. Thank you. We have a next very speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Mari Fernandez Wong. I hadn't planned
Speak up a little bit, please.
Oh, my name is Mari Fernandez Wong, and I hadn't planned on speaking, but they brought up an issue that I have on my street as well. It's actually on Whitley. They recently put up a stop sign, which is great. It's needed. But they also did the red line that takes up more than a parking space that's badly needed. It's actually on Whitley. I'm on the other side of the street, which is an extension of Roach Road. I wish we had something there to help the traffic coming out. Actually, there's a no parking sign where people park anyway. If they could put a red on that side, it's on Roach Road, that would help. There have been 2 accidents, one almost fatal, coming into the extension. So that's something, if they would consider it, yeah, it would be helpful. But yeah, I hadn't planned on talking, but they brought up an issue that I've been thinking about. But the stop sign was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll have staff take a look at the issue you bring up too. Seeing no one else approach the council for oral communications from the public, this takes us to the next section of our meeting, item B. It's the presentation of the gavel to Mayor Hurst by Mayor Pro Tem Dutra. Any way you want to do it, it's fine with me. I just don't want to suck up the public's time here too much. Sure.
Well, I have the pleasure and honor tonight to send off our 3-term city council member, Lowell Hurst, from being mayor. You'll see him for the next 4 years because he just got reelected. Congratulations for that. But being on the city council, we've worked I worked with you for the last 4 years. I've known you for a very long time because you were my teacher. So he knew me when I was a teenager. So I've known Lowell for a very, very long time. But, I went off to college and left, and Lowell was still here, making sure that our city was on the right track and getting things done and moving our community forward. I believe he was on here during the earthquake or around the time of the earthquake. And, he's been here trying to, rebuild our downtown and get our community moving forward into a place where, the new generation that we live in is, livable for everybody, and that everybody will have the services that we all deserve. And he's been at all of the ribbon cuttings, and he supports so many organizations. and he's just been a real face to our community, and I think he'll go down in history. You know, his face is on the wall, been there for quite a few, I think 3 times now. How many times? 3 times, right, as mayor? 3 times as mayor. So we won't forget him here in the city of Watsonville. Whether it's when they open up in 25 years or 50 years, Lowell will be there. And he's going to be right inside. We'll make sure he goes inside there. But, you know, I was thinking about what I could say, and, you know, I appreciate working with Lowell, and we've worked hard on a lot of major issues here in the city. But I don't think there's anyone that's been a mayor or on the council more than Lowell. Maybe I'm wrong. So this is only fitting that Lowell served as our mayor on the 150th anniversary of our city. What an honor, and Lowell got to have that. So with that, I'd like to present him with his 3rd gavel as mayor, probably, and who knows? He has a longevity in his life, so he may be back again, and we may see him as mayor again. So, but Lowell, thank you for your service, and good luck in the next 4 years.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Thank you very much. I'm blushing and humbled by it all. Thank you. I don't want to suck up any of the public's time here. I just say I'm grateful. I may not be worthy, but I'm grateful. I do appreciate the kind words and the, you know, it's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. Let's move on to your through the agenda, and I say thank you very much for the kind thoughts and words. This brings us to the next presentation, the plaque of appreciation to outgoing Mayor Pro Tem Dutra and Council Member Bilicic by Mayor Hurst. So, are we going back again? Would you like to do it from here? I'll just make it nice and short and sweet right here. Here we have a beautiful. This looks like an. Oh, I don't know if that's an anti-glass. I better not say that because I don't know for sure. But it reads, to appreciation to Councilmember Nancy Bilicic, District 7, March 2009 through December 2018. And so I say thank you very much, Councilmember Bilicic, for your hard work. We have a long, long association. Nancy was my principal at Watsonville High School, and I'm lucky I didn't get fired a couple of times. So I say thank you very much, Dr. Bilicic.
And you were not a student then?
No, I was not a student. Thank you very much. Too many things to hold here. Here we go. Appreciation to Mayor Pro Tem Jimmy Dutra, District 4, December 2014 through December of 2018. We say thank you very much for your service, and you have a long, long progressive history here, and we're honored to present this prestigious-looking, wonderful award to you.
Possibly anti-glass.
Possibly anti-glass, maybe not, maybe not. Can't say it, but I do want to say the council members have done an outstanding job, a lot of hard work, and I just want to say thank you. We're going to get to their comments in a moment. Next on our agenda, as I read it, is outgoing comments from Mayor Pro Tem Dutra and Councilmember Bilicic. Councilmember Dutra, would you like to go first? Sure. As you like.
Are we going? Are we getting intimate like this? But I just want to say a couple things. You know, I started running for office a little over 5 years ago. I got into the race, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, when I came back home from going off to college and getting, you know, an experience out living in different parts of of the country, and you know, I was able to also live abroad. I wanted to bring the same change to our community, and I ran, and I think I got like 1,000 votes. And people were, you know, I wanted to say, you know, oh well, I guess you know, let's try to make some change and like work. And people are like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I grew up here my whole life. 4 years later, we have really accomplished a lot. And I just had an unsuccessful election, but we had 5,136 people who have now learned who I am, have been wanting the change that we want to bring, and have really stepped up. And that was just in 4 little years. So I just want to say that I'm not going anywhere. So that's the race. The race to me, you know, I thought, oh, I haven't really talked about it. And it was, I learned the nastiness of politics, you know. People got personal. And I tried to stay to the facts of what I was running on. But that doesn't always happen. So I'm just going to leave it as this. I didn't sell out, and I'm going to go with what Michelle Obama said. When they go low, we go high, and we got plenty of years to continue working our community forward. So let me talk about the 4 years that I've been here. So I immediately ran for city council, and I won. And I have had 4 years of an amazing experience. I can't believe it's been 4 years. I feel like I've been talking to some of the staff that I just feel like it was like a couple weeks ago I came on. And I've had such a good experience, you know, getting to know so many people, getting to know a lot of the organizations here in town, and, you know, working with people to really move our community forward. Because 7 of us are elected, but it takes more than just us. We have to work in collaboration with our community partners to make our community thrive. And I was able to build those relationships over these last 4 years, and I'm thankful. I've stood my grounds. I've never conceded any of my morals or anything that I believe in to get political gain. I always did it for the people, and I never forgot that. And so I was like, wow, 4 years, and some people, you know, when they try to attack you, you've done nothing in 4 years. I'm like, oh God, I've done nothing, and you know, and I'm like, that's just, you know, I look back at my 4 years, and I sat back and I was, you know, pulling things together, and a lot has happened in the 4 years. There's been 2 parks in my districts. I put 2 parks. One we're not finished with yet. Paco, I'm going to come back. We're going to cut that ribbon together over on Hazelwood. And so I'm excited about that. Carrie Davis, I worked with Mari and the whole community to bring that park to fruition and to get a place for children to go. We have a safe community, and it's all because the people came together to make this happen. You know, I've worked with going to kids. Bullying is big in this community. It's big. And it's not only children who bully, adults bully too. And this is something that I've worked on, and I've been working on, and I will continue to work on. Because everybody deserves the right to live in this community freely and free of being bullied. No matter if people want to feel better about themselves by picking on others, that's something I don't believe in. So I've worked hard on making sure that I've worked with the students to make sure that they are known that they matter. Because I've talked to so many kids who drop out of school because they cannot handle being bullied. So that's something that I'm going to continue on for the next, you know, years that I'm going to be working here in the community, making sure that we end that, because that's got to stop. No one is better than one another, and that's something that we need to continue working on. So I want to say thank you for having me help you, and you helping me, because I grew a lot while being here. I've learned a lot. I came in here so green. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, geez, you know, I had to learn all the rules and what you can and cannot do. But I jumped in, feet first. And when you don't know how to swim, you doggy paddle until you learn how to swim. And I learned how to swim. And I've gained a lot of friends along the way. And I mean, I consider the staff, I consider you guys my friends. I mean, we work on so many projects together, and we've made such a big difference. I thank you, the community, for believing in me and working with me to get things done. I thank my mom, who's been like my rock. I mean, she has worked so hard. No matter what I do, my mom's been working hard for me, and I want to say thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. Yeah, please, thank you. She's... But well, you're gonna have to continue doing it some more. So, but I just want to say, you know, as we leave here in the last, and we move forward in our community, we're going to get a new city council here. A lot of decisions are being made. A lot of decisions I made 4 years ago still haven't even come to fruition. So government moves really slow. Get used to it. We voted on hotels when I first got here 4 years ago. They're not even up yet. So things move very slowly. And that's something else I had to get on because I'm an impatient person. So I'm like, wow, I really got to learn patience. So I learned patience in 4 years. Thank you. But I'm going to leave you with this. And I haven't seen it yet, but someone put together a video of the last 4 years of us working together and the things that we've accomplished. And I'm going to go sit back in my seat and enjoy the last 4 years.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our mind. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest color
Last 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, and thank you for your hard work here at the council. 4 long years of lots of successes, lots of accomplishments. So you'll always be in our heart and minds, and your fingerprints are all over Watsonville. And we say thank you from the entire community. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go now to Nancy Belisich and her remarks.
I want to extend my sincere appreciation for the opportunity to serve the Watsonville community, especially District 7 since 2009. Many of you know my dad was a native of Watsonville, and he was so proud when I became on the council. He was just ecstatic that I was going to be in, quote, his town. You know, he grew up here, and I think many of us have our roots here. And then you supported the passage of Measure I. That's when the people spoke and said, you know, you gave me the opportunity and the experience to serve as mayor of the city. And my mom, she knew that was going to happen, and she was very, very happy. But both of my parents really didn't see me serve much. Well, my mom did, but then she never did see me become mayor. But you know, that's my roots, and my parents were extremely supportive, and they were very proud, very happy. And as the mayor, it really was a phenomenal experience. During my time on the council, I had special time working with Manny Solano, who is the police chief, and now Chief Dave Honda. And I feel so connected to the Watsonville Police Department. And I'm happy that Chief Honda joined the Watsonville City team. Then, of course, there's Public Works. I think I work with Steve Palmisano every week, text, emails, day or night. His staff, they've worked on the water lines, the sewer lines, the traffic issues. The list is endless. Street sweeping was started throughout the residential areas with more to come. Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate it. And we've had torn up streets, and people say, what the heck is going on? Well, you know what? That means we're being proactive, and we're replacing lines, and there's a lot more that has to be done, but hopefully we won't see these pictures on the news of streets being flooded and all of that, because we're being proactive in Watsonville. Then there's Tamara. She's the deputy city manager, and I've worked on numerous projects with her through Parks and Recreation when she was the interim director, and then later, many, many city issues. The fire chief, Pablo Beretta, well, we continuously work together. I'm still looking for that third fire station on the east side of town, whether it's going to be a fire station, paramedic station, but something. But thank you, Pablo, because you continue to work for the residents. And then we've had the office staff. Beatrice, been there, right there with me all 9 years. She's the city clerk, and then Erwin, he's right there too. Every week, you know, when we have our things, here comes Erwin he's helped with so many things. Monica and Andrea, all who have been extremely supportive throughout my 9.5 years serving here on the city council. Then we have the airport. That's a jewel in our city and our county. And, you know, Director Williams, he continues to make improvements. I don't know if you realize what we have out there, but thank you, Rayvon, for taking so much pride in protecting our airport. Then we have Nick. Nick's our new Parks and Recreations Community Services Director. What a breath of fresh air. He started right away, 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet. He was jumping in with his staff. He made a difference. He made changes. Callahan Park, Ramsey Park will continue to see improvements as safety issues are addressed. Community meetings have been held, and the Bridge Street medians are on a replacement schedule. So thank you, Nick, to you and your team. You're making a difference. Then there's Natalie Manning. You know, nobody hears too much about Natalie, but she's kind of in the background, always keeping us abreast of personnel matters. Way to go, Natalie. Thank you. I think lately more and more I talk to Susie Merriam, and code enforcement. Something we work on together. We have lots of challenges in our community, but residents are getting the picture, so that's really good. And then, how can I forget the library? Carol Heitzig, boy, she's come in and done just tremendous things with our library, and people have opportunities. She's always creating something new and different for the public to enjoy. Thank you, Carol. Alan sits down here every meeting. He's advised us on many, many legal issues. Nice work, Alan. And then throughout my 9 years, I've had my commissions, and we all have commissioners, and I had Betty Bobita, Ria DeHart, Rick and Yolanda Dano, Caroline Calero, and Gail Olson. So those are the commissioners. They pretty much stayed the same. Caroline left when she got a new job, and Gail left the area. So the people have been there, and I really appreciate all the service. And then, of course, there's the council. How could I forget you? Always looking at different perspectives. Currently, I want to thank Mayor Hurst. As he said, we go back a ways. When I was principal, he was working at the high school, and he was, I think, mayor then, too.
I was.
I mean, he's been around, and then Pro Tem Jimmy Dutra. We've been through a lot together. Thank you. And then we have Trina Kaufman-Gomez and Rebecca Garcia, Aurelio, who's not here tonight, and Felipe. It's been great serving with you. I appreciate it. And then, of course, I have my PVUSD family. I really couldn't do this job without the support of the school district. And I remember when I first got on council, I talked to Dorma Baker, who was the superintendent at the time, and she said, yes, go for it. So I had her support, and I've had Dr. Rodriguez's support. But more importantly, I've had the Watsonville, Aptos, Santa Cruz teachers have been there for me, as has Todd Livingstone, my assistant director, Annette Nartatis, who is my right arm at the school. She's been there the whole 9 years, and many of the classified staff. So I thank all of them. You know, it isn't just me. I had a job, and they were there to support me, and I really, really appreciate it. And as a city, we've accomplished many things during the last 9 years. I'll continue to work with Congressman Panetta and the Board of Supervisors, especially Zach Friend, who's the chair of Zone 7, and Greg Caput, as we continue to move forward on the levee project. I'm grateful to be part of this concentrated movement. As mayor, I supported Measure D, and I continued to represent South County needs. Residents voted to expand Highway 1, and this must happen. Rail, we keep talking about rail, we keep talking about bike trails, we keep talking about paths, but that is not going to get people from Watsonville to Santa Cruz quickly. Rail is a long-term long-range plan, but the highway expansion is something that needs to be done now. So, you know, keep that in mind. We've got to keep going and keep talking about it. And then again, I talked about the third station, whatever it is, fire or paramedic on the east side. We know that the city has grown and expanded. Getting to District 6 and 7 is difficult to make in 4 minutes. So most of the calls in the area are medical, and they come from the senior community, and we can't forget that. So this station needs to be a priority. And last, as a council, we had the opportunity to hire Charles Montoya. He was our city manager for, I don't know, 2-3 years. I can't remember exactly. But things started to progress under his leadership, and he hired an assistant, Matt Huffaker. Well, I've watched Matt grow and work with us. He worked with us as a team and individually. Thank you, Matt. Your leadership is greatly appreciated. You've had many challenges, and you have more challenges ahead. Your style has brought the team together. And good luck in your future endeavors. So I may have forgotten some of you as I've talked tonight, but please know that throughout my journey in the council, I can't thank you, all of the people, enough for being there with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bilicic. No one will ever forget you on the council either, and in the public. And I know you've got a lot more work to do, and and we say thank you for your long and tenacious service here and bringing a perspective that's always highly valued and appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lowell.
You're welcome. On our agenda, next, I'm supposed to make some outgoing comments, but I think, you know, I want to just keep it as short as I possibly can. It's been a very interesting year in that everybody here on the dais that's elected was running for an office sometime this last year. And so we either June or November that everybody was up for election one way or another. And when you have this churn of election, it makes the council pretty interesting because you never know what somebody's going to say or do or not say. So it was an interesting, very interesting. We had a council member leave. We had a new council member come on board. We had a city manager leave. We had a new assistant city manager moved up and selected to fill that void. And so a lot of transition, and you know, that means kind of dangerous territory and a lot of uncertainty. And so I'm glad the public stuck with us and still sticks with us and is trying to make things better. The wonderful 150th year celebration, I don't know if anybody can ever top that, but we did move forward with a lot of sister city activities, and we're going to move forward with more sister city activities. I want to thank former Mayor Bersamine, who's in the audience here this evening, and say thank you to him. He was very instrumental in making many things happen in this community, and former Mayor Rivas out here as well. Let's acknowledge his great contribution in 2 terms on the council. And so we say thank you and keep coming back and help us in whatever way we can. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my wife, Wendy Hurst. Wendy's right there. Take a bow, Wendy. You know, Wendy lets me do all this stuff. In fact, sometimes she says, "Don't you have an office or someplace to go?" So I appreciate her support, and she has been very supportive. She even contributed to my campaign fund. Imagine that. I want to thank the voters. I want to thank the staff, and I think Doc Bilicich has really covered the staff quite well, and so I echo those thank yous. And I want to thank the public and the voters of District 3. You know, I had 1,350 votes this time. I think that might be almost a record in my tenure, although, you know, it's been said I did not have an opponent. So there were 75 write-ins, and I've seen these write-ins before, and some of them are Disney characters. You know, they show up on the write-ins, but I think there's probably some substantial members of the community in there too, and we hope that they'll come forward and help out in other ways. It's about people working together. It's about our opportunity through diversity, unity through cooperation. It's on the wall. It's written there. If we could live that motto, we'd be much better off, and that's the secret sauce here, is working together, putting some of our differences aside and trying to get results out of it. And because, you know, nobody's right all the time and nobody's wrong all the time, we need to work together. And I've already talked too long. So let's get to what we're really here for, okay? This is the oath of office and the swearing in. We have Superior Court Judge Saida Cogliotti, our newly elected, is going to swear in our newly elected city council members. You know, I've been swore out a lot, but I also been sworn in. I think it's 6 times that I've been sworn in. One of those was an appointment. So I'm glad to get sworn in rather than sworn out. Shall we proceed?
Yes, if we can have Ari Parker and Francisco Estrada come to the front also.
Let me lead the way. I've done this before.
Thank you. Come on. So again, I'm Judge Saida Coliati of Santa Cruz Superior Court, and I just want to say a couple quick words before I start with the oath of office for all the elected council members here. I'm so honored to be here. It's really special for me because, as Mayor Hurst mentioned, this was an election year, and it was the year that I got elected. So through all the whole year of campaign events, I got to know every single person here since everybody on this council was running for an office or other, and they all became my friends. I consider them all true and dear friends, and I also got to know the community of Watsonville, and the support I had down here was just so wonderful. It's my second home. I can't wait to be a judge in this courthouse. I'm currently working in Santa Cruz, but you people are amazing, and this council is amazing. The diversity of backgrounds and viewpoints, and the commitment to this community and the love for this community. I think it's really cool that the 4 people I'm swearing in tonight are all longtime educators. They're people who have worked with children, teenagers, young adults. They care so much, and I thought it was really neat to see how many kids were in the audience tonight, because I think what we're all about is about inspiring our youth. When the deputy city manager mentioned that this will be a different council in 25 years, the first thing I thought of was that some of those young audience members might be the people on this council. And I think what we've all been through with our campaigns shows you that anybody can do it. And I hope it inspires some of you out there or some of your kids to go forward and represent your community. So that's what I have to say, and it's really just an incredible honor to do this. So here we go. Is everybody ready to take their oath? Excellent. So I'll invite you all to raise your right hands, and then you'll say, I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Your new city council members, everybody.
Mayor Estrada, and our new Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. This is, again, just a complete honor. I'm sorry. I'm really just so pleased for you both. I know how hard you worked, and for Paco to be jumping in and
becoming mayor. It's just really exciting. So, all right, here we go again. So now you'll raise your right hand and you'll say, I say your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. All right, your new mayor and mayor pro tem. It's hard, it's tricky. Hard oath to say.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess so that photos and signatures can be gathered, and then we'll reconvene with the seating of the new mayor and the vice mayor. So a 5-minute recess.
Okay, thank you all for sticking around and enduring with us the whole night. Now we're going to move on to comments from our new members on the council. And we're going to do it just a little bit different. And I wanted to start with item I. And wanted to hear from Rebecca Garcia, our new mayor pro tem.
I'm so emotional. I have many, many thank yous to give. I first want to thank my son Raul, my daughter Andrea, my son-in-law Tommy, who helped me with the signs, and my grandchildren. They believed in me. They encouraged me. They said, "Abuela, you can win." In fact, my 8-year-old granddaughter says, "I know you're going to win because I'm going to tell all my friends to tell their mothers and fathers to vote for you." And so she got me extra votes. I also want to thank all those that supported me, those that volunteered to be knocking on doors, to make countless phone calls, and all the donors that gave me the funding so I can pay for all the expensive materials you have to have in running a campaign. And thirdly, I want to thank the voters of District 5, even if you didn't vote for me. 4 years ago, for the midterm, only 40% of the registered voters voted. This time, 56% voted. That is totally amazing. They realize that government starts locally. So there's lots to do in the next 4 years. I've already met with the city manager to see what we can do, particularly with affordable housing for renters. And in about a week or two, I'm going to be meeting with the mayor to let him know also what I'd like all of us in the city council to do in terms of all the different things we have to address. Housing affordability, safety for pedestrians and bicyclists, homelessness, and many, many other things. So I am looking forward to the next 4 years, and I thank you, all of you, for your support. And my expectation is that those of you that came out here today for the first time, that this isn't going to be your last time, that you will continue to come to us, because we need to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca, and congratulations. Now let's move on to item J, and let's hear from our newest member, Miss Ari Parker.
First step, learn how to turn my microphone on. Second step, move the chair up and down. I want to thank my mom, who is still here. Wow, I thought she was going to go. Because she was with me throughout this whole process. I want to thank the people of District 7, and I agree with Councilmember Garcia. They came out and voted. Over 70% of our precinct, of our district came out and voted. And I was very proud to get a majority of the vote. And I was just really happy to see how much participation that we had. I look forward to the next 150 years. I'm not sure how much of it I'll be here, but I know for the next 4, I look forward to serving the people of District 7 and the people of Watsonville. And I thank you all for coming tonight and supporting Watsonville. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Parker, and congratulations as well. Councilman Hurst, any words?
Very few, I hope. What's old is new again, is what someone told me. I can't wait to reach into that time capsule. You know, I'll be 95, and I know Ria's here tonight. She's 96. My mom is 95. My dad just passed away at 97, and I had an aunt that lived 103. So I don't know if genetics is worth anything in my case, but I can't wait to reach into that time capsule. We need more active engagement from the citizenship of Watsonville, from the residents of Watsonville, from the folks that really live here and really help make Watsonville what it really is. And so I just say, let's always look up on the wall and see that opportunity through diversity and unity through cooperation is what we should really live by. And that means not just the council, but every resident in the community. And if they really want something done, they have to help out and help do it too. So let's have active engagement. Let's focus on the real issues in Watsonville. And I know that everybody's got their own real issues, but let's focus on those real issues of the grandest proportion that we can help the most people out as possible. And congratulations to the newly elected council members and the hardworking council that's here. Thank you.
Nicely said, Councilman Hurst, and we thank you for your service and congratulations as well.
Thank you, sir.
And now we'll jump back a little bit to item H, and I will say a few words. And for those wondering why I decided to run, welcome to the exciting world of politics, huh? I mean, what is this, close to 3 hours now? Yeah. So, first off, I just wanted to thank all of you for being here, and I welcome you. Remember, these are your chambers. We are your city council, and we are here to serve you. So I hope to see more of you throughout the year in the next 4 years, and continue to be engaged with your community and work for your community and for each other. The next thing I'd like to do is just say a giant thank you to so many people. For anyone that walked with me, anyone that stood out in the mornings with me, or anybody that honked, for that matter, anyone that gave me advice, contacted me through social media or to my email, or just anybody that believed in me, I say thank you. And along with that, I want you to know that this moment doesn't just belong to me, it belongs to all of you. It belongs to all my friends who have been there since day one. And on day one, they asked if this was a joke, and and we're here. But I thank you, each of you, for believing in me. My family, my uncles and my cousins, thank you. We've always done amazing things as a family, and I hope that continues on for many years to come. So I thank each of you. My teachers and my mentors who told me that I mattered and that I could be someone, I thank you. I thank each of you for always believing in me. And to anyone who's ever wanted to do anything positive for their community, and for anyone that's ever felt that their voice doesn't matter, I'm here to tell you that it does matter and that you can do it. Y sí se puede. In particular, I just have to thank a group of people that I couldn't have done any of this without them. And first is Amanda, my wife. My first endorsement, and just a person that I absolutely cannot live without in this world. I thank you and I love you. Second person was my campaign manager, 22-year-old Uriel Reyes, over there. Uriel and my team, I thank each of you for every meeting you went to, for every idea you gave me, and for every no that you gave me as well. I appreciate it, and I love each of you. Thank you. To my mom and my dad. Les quiero decir que todo el esfuerzo, todo su trabajo, todo lo que batallamos, valió la pena. Thank you. And to Cesar, Andrea, Diana, my grandparents, my nieces, my nephews, my wife's family, it's people that are no longer here with us, mi gente from Santa Rosa, everyone, thank you and I love you. And so this is the greatest honor of my life, and I am ready for this, and I'm ready to lead, and I'm ready to work with my councilmen. I'm ready to do great work together. And I promise you I will serve to the best of my ability. I will work hard for you every day. I will work for equity, justice, and just doing the right thing, the greater good. And so together at Watsonville, we're gonna accomplish the impossible, and this is just the beginning. Thank you. And we'll be going to Ella's after this if you guys want to join us and keep the celebration going. So thank you, Rebecca. Well, now we'll move to item K. Any additional comments from council? Councilman Kaufman Gomez?
Thank you. It's been a whirlwind storm through here, and it's nice to see so many of you that have come out this evening for us. And we'd like to see you engaged continuously, not just as this evening, but we need you engaged as a community. And I'm looking forward to a millennial forward. We've got a future for you here. There's things that we need you to help us with. We need to help you create and forge what that future is going to look like. There are a lot of things that were going to come up that we may be stepping into planning now that will have an impact for you later. We need to have you engaged. We need to have your voices heard, and we need you to participate to make sure that we're going the direction that you want to take the generations and the future as well. I also would like to make sure that I let our new council members and our mayor know that we're available to mentor, to let you know what's going on and help you with the process. It's going to be a rookie year for both of you, and we've all been here before. The doors are open to let you know that we're here to help you and facilitate and get the understanding of what that process is about. And I look forward to being able to be tapped into for how do we go about this, where do we take this, what's the history lesson we have here. I think the educators want to make sure that they've got a good foundation on that. For me to make a decision, I always want to know what the history's about, and that I'll help you out along the way in that process. And embrace what's going on here. And I see that the community is really there to support you with that. You've got a lot of support up here, and we look forward to a lot of new projects and the continuation of projects with the process of government taking a long time, that we get you in there and slip on the ride through the process while you're up here with that experience. So congratulations, and Mayor Pro Tem, newly re-elected council member. Again, we all welcome it. It'll be a nice board to see everything move forward and for our community here as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kaufman Gomez. I appreciate your words. I think we all do. Thank you. Anybody else want to address?
I guess we'll go in order. Well, I want to congratulate all the newly elected officials and our new mayor, of course, and vice mayor as well, and our newest representative for District 7. You know, I really look forward to working with this new council. I work forward to working with the mayor, because he brings forth a new energy, a vibrancy that we haven't had before. And he always speaks with sincere words to me when he's spoken to me. So I really look forward to working with him on all the issues that the city is facing, whether it's the financial issues, whether it's bike and pedestrian safety, creating safer roads, whether it's revitalizing our downtown or economic development within our town, or transportation issues and traffic issues. I want to work with him on all these issues that we have facing our city. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hernandez, and I look forward to working with you as well. It's going to be an interesting and fun next couple of years. I look forward to it. Okay, moving on to item 10. Any emergency items that to be added to the agenda? No?
A party at Ellis.
Okay, next item 11. Any requests for future agenda items? Councilwoman Trina Kaufman Gomez.
Thank you. I'd like to see us work with Progressive. They're new in town. They've been around for a few months in terms of the rail corridor and the freight, the job creation for the Watsonville, and to see if perhaps they can provide a presentation to our council and our community of what they've done since they've gone into contract with our community here.
Mm-hmm. Is that doable?
We can handle that. Thank you.
No curveballs.
Fantastic. Councilman Hernandez?
If Tamara can help me with this one, I think there's a deadline that's coming up to give input to the federal government about some changes that's happening with immigration. I'd like to see if the city of Watsonville or perhaps the mayor can also submit a letter to our disagreement with the federal government and what their changes they're doing to folks with green cards, right? But if you want to mention a little bit about that as well.
Unfortunately, public comment closed last night at 8:59. I'm sorry about that. But we will stay vigilant to make sure that we take a position in future items.
If we could take, with the League of Mayors, maybe the mayor would be able to do that.
I believe I did submit a letter previously, if my recollection's correct.
Well, we got a new mayor to submit it.
Another letter would be good.
I submitted as well. So, yeah.
And the city has taken a position on that along the way. We will continue to monitor it closely. It's obviously an important issue for us in our community, and we'll bring updates to the council.
Thank you. Any other item to be added, future agenda items? Okay, if there's no other business, we adjourn for tonight. Thank you.